Welcome in, everybody, to our Wednesday webinar. Happy to have everybody here today. Talking about survey hacking. Got Dan up here. Excited to get to this one, Dan.
Absolutely. Welcome in, guys. Excited to be here. Today's topic round, we're going over survey hacking, huh?
Yes, we are. Marcy, how you doing? Donnie Brown, how we doing? What are these crowns on people? What does that mean? BRC Land Partners, welcome.
Welcome, BRC.
Happy to have everybody here. Excited to get started in this. Survey hacking today. We have 30 minutes. Hi from Southwest Florida. Ginger, how you doing? Leah,
welcome in.
Question of the day in here.
Who gave Dan a black eye? Got kneed in the face in jiu-jitsu class this week. Took a rough one.
Yeah, that's a good one. George, S2 Strategic Defense. Oh, Nick. That's Nick. Nick, Desiree, Nick? Todd, Cleophas. Sorry if I'm saying anyone's name wrong. Happy to have everybody here. Cleophas from Alabama. Let us know in the comments where you guys joining us from. What location? You guys, Dan and Dan are in Ohio right now. Where are you guys located? Want to hear in the chat where everyone is, where everyone's calling in from. I'm going to get a question of the day as well.
You do firearms defense, Nick? Is that what you do? Divorce isn't cheap. Bet the other guy got it worse.
Atlanta, Louisiana, Colorado, Reading, Pennsylvania, Texas, Nashville. Mr. Derek, how we doing?
Got a lot of people trickling in here, guys. Excited for this topic. I'm also curious, like, well, we'll get into that in a minute, but I want to see how many people in here know what survey hacking is. And I want to know if they've done it, because I know that I see a lot of experienced land investors in here. So just curious on that.
Number from 1 to 7. How experienced are you in land flipping? I like seeing the experience level, guys. From 1 to 7, number 1 through number 7. How experienced are you in land flipping? 1 is you know nothing. This is your first time hearing about it. 7 is whatever you want it is. 7 is you're a master. Nothing else to learn.
Sabrina and St. Pete. I live in St. Pete too. Sabrina. Great town. Caleb 0, Reese 5. Yeah, 5's experienced. 5's pretty advanced.
Brand new 0-0. I love it. Happy to have you guys here. It's a good spot to be. We have 30 minutes today, guys. We're going to provide as much value. We're going to talk about survey hacking. We'll define what survey hacking is. A lot of new people in here. We've done content on everything, guys, from choosing a market to sending your first marketing to whatever, sales, everything in between. Yeah, this one is going to be probably mid-tier to a little higher level, Dan, but it's always good to learn with this. Courtney,
well, it's good. It's good. It will educate everyone, though. It's not like we're not going to be talking high level with that necessarily. Like if anything, if you guys are 0s and 1s, you'll walk away and understand a cool little niche within the land investing community.
Derek, you ain't a 3. Shut up. Derek's one of our coaches. He's got to be a 12.
You better be above a 3. You're doing the group call after this, man.
Yeah. Chris Carter 1. A lot of new people. That's no problem at all, guys. We're excited to have everybody here. If you guys are joining for the first time, guys, hit that subscribe button. We do videos 2, 3, 4 times every single week. We try to provide as much value. I want to see that subscriber. We have 110 people in here. If you guys aren't a subscriber, we try to provide as much value as possible on our channel. Hit that button, but we're going to get rolling on it. For a lot of 1s, 2s, 3s, Dan, which I love. I love getting people started in this business, getting people to the next level. Yeah, not a problem at all. I'm with you, Bambi.
Courtney asked to explain double closes, Ron. Do you want to get to that real quick?
Yeah, why not?
That's a good question. So Courtney said, can you explain what double closing means in land? It seems different from double closing in houses. Courtney, I'm curious what you think double closing in houses is, because it might be the same exact thing. A double close is where me as the investor, I'm going out and I'm looking for people to sell their land, right? So I get it under contract to buy someone's land, let's say named Linda, and I get the property under contract for $50,000 from Linda. In that contract, I'm given, let's say I ask for 90 days, right? I ask for 90 days to sell the property and market it. So I have 90 days essentially to go find a buyer. So that contract, attorney in fact, whatever you have, you can go list it. Hopefully on the MLS, you can list it on Facebook Marketplace. You have an attorney in fact to market that property, right? So you have a contract to do it. You go to the market and you list it. So then I find a buyer named Jim that's buying it for $75,000 because I listed it. I talked to him. I sent him out there. I know about the land, and he goes and buys the land. So I am B, right? So I organize a closing on the same day for Linda to go and Jim to go. So the deed, the title of the property goes from Linda to me for $50,000, and then I sell it to Jim for $75,000. Therefore, I net $25,000. How was that explanation? Was that simple enough?
Simple enough. Yeah. I mean, it matters. I mean, it's a double closing is something. Double closing, guys. If that was a confusing, I don't think it was confusing. I just think like first time hearing it, it sounds kind of abstract for sure. Double closing is a way to make. I mean, you can make $150,000 on deals in double closing. People are doing it every single week in this business. So it's a way, definitely learning more about it. There's some really good YouTube videos on it, but it's essentially A to B to C. This all happens on the same day. You get under contract with the seller for a certain price. You list it with a margin, and there's two closings in one day, essentially. The seller sells to you. You sell to the end buyer that you found in the same day. You essentially, if you bought it for $50,000, you sold it for $75,000. All happened in the same day. You make $25,000. And
it's different from a lot of people. One of the most common people is, or a common question is what's different from an assignment, Ron? An assignment's different because you're actually taking title on this property. So you don't have to disclose how much you made on it to Linda, because you're taking title on it. You're paying with you can get transactional funding on these. So for like 1% to 3%. So you're buying this with cash through a transactional funder typically, and you're listing it, and the title goes into your name, and then the deed's transferred to your name, and then you sell it to Jim and it's transferred to his name. So that's the difference from assignment, is you don't need to, that's the advantage of it too. It's safer. And a lot of places that are getting rid of wholesaling are trying to restrict wholesaling, you can still double close, and it's more, it's a lot safer. You're actually getting the property under contract in your name.
Yep. Exactly. All right, let's get rolling here, guys. We are going to talk about survey hacking today. This is a term that Daniel and I coined probably 12, 14 months ago, Dan. I think it was over a year ago when we first started talking about survey hacking. It was a part of land flipping that was naturally coming up in our business, but there was never like a name for it. There's never like a, okay, this is survey hacking. It's just like we were just doing deals in this way. And what survey hacking is essentially, when you think of a survey is getting like a survey of a property. Survey hacking, the way we define it, is buying a portion of a property. It could be you send out marketing, you reach out to people who own 50 acres and you'd be like, I'll buy anywhere between 10 to 30 acres of your land. And what you do essentially is get a survey before you buy the land, and then you buy 30 acres, you let them keep the 20 acres. That is essentially what survey hacking is. It is buying a portion of someone's parcel. So you're subdividing essentially before, because a lot of sellers out there, they own 50 acres and like maybe they don't want to take care of it anymore. And maybe they're willing to sell 5 acres of it. Maybe they're willing to sell 48 acres of it. You don't know. It can be anywhere in between that. And the coolest thing about survey hacking, Dan, is you can do this with houses as well. You can do this with people who own 50 acres with a house on it. And a lot of people love this option. There's been so many success stories from people who are buying 48 acres from someone who owns 50 acres in a house, and we just leave them the house and 2 acres. Yep. That is essentially, does that make sense, everybody? I want to make sure the definition of it makes sense before we start building lists for it.
Yeah, and there's two ways these deals fall into your plate. One, you can target survey hacks and go after people with houses on big properties and say, I want to buy, a portion of your land essentially. Or where we ran into this originally, why we're like, why don't we do this more, is because we just started running into it, right? So you can target survey hacks or you just run into it. And that's when you send, let's say I sent 50 acres, letter to buy someone's land or a text for 50 acres, right? They're like, I don't want to sell all my 50 acres. I want to keep 10 of them, right? I want to keep at least 10. I've owned this for a long time. It's in my family. I'll give you 40 of them, 40 of the acres. And then you come up with a price that makes sense for the 40 acres. And then you subdivide it off and you buy the 40 acres, they keep the 10. So there's targeting and then there's just running into it. And both are powerful. But if you guys are already doing this business, like a lot of people put 5, 6, 7 4s in there for the experience level. If you guys are doing this, keep that. When someone's like, I don't want to sell all of my land, you'll get that. You'll get that over and over again. And that's when you come up with this strategy and you say, well, how much do you want to keep? And you negotiate with them and you try to buy a portion of their land.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's a good explanation for it. And it should literally be a conversation with every seller that you reach out to and it's like, no, I'm not selling my land for this. Like, okay, do you want to sell a portion of your land? How do you do more deals in this business? You create solutions. You make solutions for your sellers, essentially. Like that's how people do more deals. Like you can be a really good salesperson, but if you're able to be creative with solutions for your sellers, you are going to do way more deals. Not every deal can be had for sure. Some sellers just aren't going to want to sell, obviously. But that being said, like offering this stuff, trying to do double closing, it just adds potential deals to your pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. And Sabrina asked a good question. We'll get to the double closing at the end here, guys. We're going to stay on track with the survey hacking right now, just because we're on this, and we'll move to double closing after. I do see your guys' questions in there. Sabrina asked, are there any zoning county restrictions breaking up a property? Absolutely. There almost always is. Like for subdividing in general, there's minor subdivision regulations you always have to look into.
All right, let's put some steps here, Dan. Let's say we're trying to target survey hacking. We can say, let's just do steps right here. Steps to doing a survey hack. All right, I'm gonna zoom in for you guys. Don't yell at me. Hold on 1 second. Let's go 150 here, guys. And we are going to go, let's just go step 1. So you create a list of landowners. Let's just say 20 plus acres, Dan, with 20 plus acres. How much road frontage do we want, Dan? Let's put some bullet points under here.
Well, we can test that out on the land portal.
We'll put that next. So
creating a list. We'll get
create a list. And then you're going to send marketing out. And this can be texting, direct mail, and cold calling, essentially. We're reaching out to them. We're like, all right, I see you own 20 acres and a house. I see you own 20 acres. Are you willing to sell all 20 of your acres? Are you willing to sell some of your 20 acres? You're basically reaching out to them to just have a conversation. You need to have conversations. Negotiate and get under contract. Some of the keys when you're getting under contract, Dan, because I know some people asked about like the complexities, you want to make sure you have earnest money. Earnest money for sure.
Anytime you're doing improvements like this, because you are doing an improvement technically because you're subdividing it and you're going to put money and time into this, you need earnest money. You need to lock it up. You need to be able to really fight in court. You need this strong to be able to fight in court so they can't just back out.
At least, I'd say at least 30 days to close. You want to talk to the surveyor first. So what you're doing, you want to get the survey done first, obviously. And then you're going to do that. So at least 30 days to close. So 30-day, I don't know if you call it due diligence, but 30 days before closing, line up surveyor. And again, the earnest money is going to protect you because you're going to have to pay the surveyor. This is going to cost maybe $1,000, $2,000, everything like that. Get survey done and then close, essentially. I guess we're sending the title at some point here, huh, Dan? Negotiate, get under contract.
Get survey done. Yeah, when would you send a contract? After this?
No, I'd probably do it here, honestly. Send to title. And you're not going to tell them they're like, I'm sending a title. Let's get this closed as fast as possible. Send a title. They're going to see the contract, be like, I'm getting a survey done. You don't need to start title work yet. And just lining it up. So title work's done, very similar time to when the survey is done. And then you're closing.
Step 4 and 5 should be kind of like together.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about putting that as a tab. You might be right. Let's do that. Oh, 4 and 5. Sorry.
Yeah, because you're lining up. You want to do those together, and you don't want to send a title in until you talk to a surveyor, because you don't want to get 30 days of close until you talk to a surveyor either. So talking to a surveyor, honestly, like when I'm getting this under contract, I'm doing this right away.
I'm going to answer Mike's question for facts. What are complexities of survey hacking, potential costs, et cetera, prior to buying from a seller?
Let's do this. Let's write the pros and cons on here, because I wanted to do that at some point.
What do you mean pros and cons?
Of survey hacking, just like with what it does. So we talking about how to do it. Real quick, let's talk about some of the pros and cons.
All right, let's get a table here. We'll just go 2 blocks and we'll go 7 down and we'll do pros and we'll go cons. Can you guys see all right? All right. Pros, more potential sellers, I think.
Yeah, more inventory.
More inventory, I like that.
So you have more land that's available. One, you can target land with structures on it, right? So that opens up the inventory. You can target land that's just land. You can target sellers who don't want to sell their whole land as well, which you can't target, but you'll run into.
All right. More inventory. What else you got there, Dan?
Less competition.
This is a big one, actually. I'm going to put this big.
There's no one going after houses to buy their land.
100%.
Imagine if you have, what if you have, imagine you have a 2,000 square foot house. You're in financial trouble and you're on 100 acres. And you get a letter that says, I don't want to buy all your land. You can keep it. I know you have a house on it, but I'll buy whatever you want. 50 acres. We can come up. I can get you $100,000 cash. It's very powerful. You're buying part of their asset. You can't do that typically.
When I say unlimited options, Dan, not unlimited. I mean, it kind of is. Like, I can buy 49 acres from them. I can buy 47 acres from them. Like there's such a deep negotiation. I just think there's so many options for how the deal can happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then also with these options too, this gets a little complex. I don't want to confuse people, but you can, when you're subdividing it or surveying it off, you can survey multiple parcels.
This is bigger profits then.
So what I mean, if say they have 50 acres, we're buying 40. What if I just do 4 10-acre lots and all of a sudden I have 4 10-acre lots, so I can make a lot more money also?
Yep, 100%. These are probably the biggest ones, I think, Dan. A ton of inventory, less competition, just so many options. Like it's such a, you can figure out a solution for most sellers who have any interest. Like if seller has interest in selling, maybe the price isn't working, like you can figure out solutions. Like, okay, maybe that price doesn't work for that. Like, can I buy 45 of your 50 acres and I'll give you the same amount, whatever it is. Cons,
more money, more time, but 2 different tabs.
More time, more money, more upfront costs.
I also think I think what you said on limited options is almost more of a con than a pro. I think it can confuse people. So I
agree. Actually,
I think it's
process.
There's a lot of room for negotiation on how you do it. There's more complexities.
Process can confuse sellers. I 100% agree on that. I've heard that a lot from people who are targeting them, and there's a way to do it for sure. I do want to make sure we get to actually building a list here, Dan, in a minute.
Yeah, real quick. There's a couple other big ones.
Go for
it. We have more time. Overall, just like more operations, right? It's just more. It's like the increased process. So
increased ops. Let's just say increased ops.
Yeah. So because there's more steps to it, right? There's more complexities.
Survey. Survey and earnest money. You need earnest money when, even though that goes towards the purchase, is still something. I think this is essentially it. I want to get to building a list here. Mike M said, what if a seller bails out after survey before closing? That's when you have a really solid contract, earnest money, closing date, you've abided by all your parts of the contract, you can cloud the title. This is like they signed a contract. There are some states where you can literally force them to sell. Like it's not their choice. I know North Carolina, I had an attorney on and rewatch it to make sure that I'm correct with what I said. But I had an attorney on from North Carolina. She's like, no, you can force people to sell. If they sign a contract, you went through all this stuff, and you can cloud the title for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's get to building a list here, guys. So we are going to build a survey hack list. Where do we want to do this, Dan?
Tennessee.
Let's do Tennessee. I love it. All right, let's go to map search. Let's go to Tennessee, and let's go Hickman, Tennessee. Just first county that came. Let's go McMinn, Tennessee. All right, this is somewhat sloped county. It's a good county.
Yeah, and Justin said contracts are key. Spend money for a great lawyer. And you only, if your guys are doing multiple deals and you have these good contracts, you only need to spend money on a lawyer like one time. You can have them review stuff, but you just need one very good contract and you can use it over and over again, especially if you're in the same state.
There's so much opportunity here, guys. No one is going after these properties, and especially if you're going with houses. But there's so much opportunity with this. Let's go back to Tennessee. I don't know what happened there. You can sue them to perform the terms of contract. Yeah, there's different rules in different states. Obviously, hopefully you don't go through those. If you want to communicate with them, but
it should be rare that they're backing.
It shouldn't
out.
happen.
It's just like any deal that you're doing. You're buying a house. The seller decides they don't want to sell. It's on the like it's hard. If you get good contracts and earnest money in place, it's hard to back out. Imagine putting your house for sale. It's the same thing. Putting your house up for sale, agreeing to sale. They put money down. They're doing their due diligence, and the seller goes, I don't want to sell anymore. It doesn't happen very often if you have things correct in place.
McMinn County, Tennessee. We're going to do residential properties first. So we're going to go after properties with houses on them. Let's go 20 plus acres. And then we do need road frontage. So this is when we're going to go through some different things. We're going to go through, actually, let me get out of here. So MLS, we're going to exclude anything that's currently on the market. We're going to exclude recently sold properties. Could you go after them? Yeah, but let's just not do that at this time. What are we? 20 acres. Where's road frontage, Dan? So we're going to do road frontage. The amount of road frontage we want, 20 acres, probably 750.
Yeah.
20 plus acres. I think 750 is a good spot.
Yeah, that works. We'll see.
750. We're going to do minimum buildability acres. I'm going to do.
Is McMinn very sloped?
Not very, but there's parts. I'm going to do 5 buildable acres at least. It could be, we could probably go a little bit lower. We could do a percentage, but I'm going to make this simple. So we're doing houses with 20 plus acres, and at least 5 acres are buildable. This is AI stuff in terms of like how we determine what's buildable. This is a very, very detailed stuff in here in terms of how we determine buildability. This is one of the best filters on Land Portal.
It's one of the most used filters too.
And it is so valuable. I still don't think we like talk about it enough, honestly. We're going to do 50% max FEMA. We're going to do 50% max floodplain. I'm going to hit apply here, Dan, and see what we get. And we could do a ton of other filters. I'm going to this is crazy. That's a lot.
That's a good list.
Wow. So let's just scroll in and see what we got. I like looking at what kind of land we're going after. Like, look at this, guys. So we look at this property, and one of the issues you will definitely run into, okay, you're trying to survey hack this property. They can keep this. Like, we got to make sure you can't do it on every property, obviously. This is a perfect one if this is buildable over here, which I'm not sure. I'm going to actually pull it up here. How do I do that?
What you could also do, Ron, is combine your list so you're not just targeting residential.
Oh, we're going to do that. Yeah, we're going to build a list over there. 100%. Like this property, yeah, it's more buildable over where they have their house, but you subdivide this off. Like,
explain those circles, Ron.
This is the buildability circles. I'm sorry, Dan. This is the buildability. So this is, how many acres is this? So you could literally have them keep 15, 18 of the acres, and then you take the other whatever. How many acres is this? 55, the other 40 acres, something like that. But you do have some flat areas over here. This is the buildability sections, the buildability clusters that they're called. But let's keep going through. Let me get that off. How do I do that? All right, let's get the buildability off of here.
It's off. It's off.
Okay.
It's off of it.
And then let's go back to our, where's my list, Dan?
List view.
All right, list view. So what we're going to do here, we're going to save list. So this is our residential. So this is McMinn, Tennessee, and we're going to combine this list. So right now, these are all properties. I just clicked Ken on New Mexico accidentally.
You can do it this way and save a list, or you can just, if you're going to combine the list, if you keep them 2 lists, do it this way. If you're going to combine the list, just go back and remove your residential lots button and just do all.
That's a good point. I didn't know where you're going with that, honestly. Yeah, good point. So we're going to go back to map search. And well, we don't, should we do vacant structures too, I guess? Yeah, let's just do everything. So now I took off residential properties, guys. So do I need to check all of these or search is
No, hit apply.
Okay. So now
make sure your land use is off though. Make sure that button, go down to land use. Is it gone? Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay. So now this is searching for houses, vacant land, vacant structure. It's searching for all land in McMinn County, Tennessee with 20 acres, at least 20 acres, no more than at least 5 buildable acres, 50% FEMA, 50% wetlands, and 750 feet of road frontage. This is a really solid list, Dan.
Let's see. We're going from 792. We're adding land,
We doubled it.
1447.
Wow, there's a lot of residential properties. There's a ton of opportunity in this county. It's at list view. All right. Let's see what we got. You just see the parcels and how much opportunity with these, like all this road frontage. And the further subdivide ones, Dan, that's what I like about this county so much.
Look at that.
Like,
yeah. Wow.
Look so many good properties.
If you get one of these, you guys would with all this road frontage, you can subdivide it up multiple.
Yeah. Let's break one up, Dan, because that actually makes a lot of sense. So let's pull up an example that works. One that's not
Go to one with the structure so we can explain how this works. These are really nice properties.
Just go here. This one, there's 2 here. This one has a structure. I'm going to keep away from that. That one I initially had up would have been a really fun one. All right, here's one. Yeah. Let's go here. Like, let's say, okay, let's click into this property. Get that off of here. Click. This is 148 acres. So you could buy 145 of these acres. You could buy 50 of these acres. So many options. But let's just create some, let's just say they want 50 acres, something like they want to stay around their house. They want to keep all that, but that you can take all this land to the south, everything like that. Let's just go over here. They basically tell you what you can have essentially, and you negotiate, you find out like, okay, that makes sense. They're going to have, let's see what they're going to have. This is going to be 38 acres. And then we're going to have the other 100 and whatever. Do we have road frontage? There looks like there's some kind of easement here, Dan. You do want to obviously make sure that you have road frontage. This might not be the best situation for subdividing just because we don't have clear road frontage. But if you could subdivide off of this little easement, there's definitely a ton of opportunity there. Do you think it's a good example still, Dan?
I'd get one with more road frontage, but yeah, you could do exactly what you're showing there, or yeah.
Well, let's do this one. This one's awesome.
Okay.
Let's go here. All right, here we go. Really good property, very flat. We have multiple houses on this one, actually. Like maybe they want to keep 2 of them, and you have that option. Like, okay, I don't take my houses. You guys can have the other land. Just give me like 5-10 acres with each of the houses, and you're good. So, all right, they keep this, and then they also want to keep this house. They're going to get more land with this. I mean, could they theoretically not get more? Let's just like maybe like we do this. They want to keep all their structures. Okay, you can have that as well. And then you have all this opportunity here to subdivide further. Like, okay, they're keeping 12 and 6. They're keeping about what is that? 19 acres. So we have all this road frontage to make some opportunities. So let's just make one property here, Dan. So, okay, we're going to subdivide this land further. All this land in the middle, we're going to subdivide. This makes a ton of sense for us. Like we're going to take this 10-acre property right there. Then you want to give yourself enough road frontage when you're subdividing for sure. And obviously I would make this a little more precise if we were actually doing this, but there's another 5-acre parcel and you get this done all at once. So you're survey hacking off their parcel that they want, but at the same time, you're also subdividing and you're getting these extra 1, 2, 3, 4 parcels essentially. And now we all of a sudden have 4 parcels to sell. We're going to make amazing money on this deal. They get to keep their houses on both the sides. They're happy, whatever the situation is here. But these are how this works, guys. This is an unbelievable opportunity, I think, Dan.
Yeah.
Ones with houses are so intriguing to me.
Yeah. So in this example, they kept 2 different parcels. We let them keep 2. We surveyed off 6 acres and another 12-acre parcel for them to keep. Right. So that's a total of 18. We get the remainder, and we were able to make 1, 2, 3, 4 different parcels out of that. Or if you get the right price and you don't want to subdivide it, you don't need to make 4. Like you could buy that whole chunk and just sell it. You don't need to continue to subdivide this down into further parcels.
100%. This is how it works, though, guys. You reach out to 500, 600 people that own land like this, you're going to get deals if you have the conversations correctly. Like this can be a multiple six-figure deal, in my opinion, in terms of this is just an example property. Obviously, we've never talked to the seller or anything like that. But like these deals, you can make a lot of money. And theoretically, like you never know, like there might be another parcel here that you could have if they don't want all 12 of those acres. There's a lot of people that own a lot of land that don't want to sell all their land. They still want to own land, but they don't want to keep it all.
Yeah, and this one was unique because they had two structures on it. Usually that you don't run into that. You will run into that, but usually they have one house and a lot of land, and that's what you target. So you just need one split for them.
Since we have someone taking care of our members called in, I do want to answer questions before we get off here. If you guys have any other questions about this process, anything like that, let us know in the chat. I'm going to go through some questions real fast. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate all the support. Are there any zoning county restrictions breaking up a property? Yeah, 100%. You want to, that's probably actually step one, Sabrina. That's a really good point. Is if you are targeting survey hacks where you're subdividing anything like that, almost all rural counties, you're going to be able to do what we're showing for the most part. It's when you cut down into smaller parcels, more parcels where there can be some restrictions. Cleophas asks, how much do you decide to buy the land for if it's listed with a home? So if you're buying the home and land, we're not really buying homes. That's not our business model. I'll let them keep the home and we'll buy the land. It just matters. You got to look at the market, honestly, try to find comps. It's hard to find comps with houses with a lot of land.
Yeah.
Good questions, guys. Contracts are key. 100%, Justin. You can sue them. Yep.
There's a couple of double close questions we didn't get to, and I know people are following up on them.
Yeah, if you guys, this software, guys, I didn't even say that. Usually I plug that, Mike. There's a free trial to this software, landportal.com, in the description below, landportal.com/subscriptions. What would minimum acreage for a subdivide be? It matters. Like you could do this strategy for 15-acre parcels, 10-acre parcels. You can definitely go smaller, Courtney. Would do seller finance while sell them off? You definitely can. That's what I love about this business model, Dan. It's like
that's why we call it land investing, not like a specific, it's so broad with what you can do. Do you find lineup buyers before you go through purchasing? No, we do not, but some people do use that strategy.
If you're double closing with this strategy, we would not.
Yeah, with this strategy, we do not, and we're gonna post them all on the MLS. We sell properties from posting on, so we're on Redfin, we're on Zillow, we're on Land.com, we post on Facebook Marketplace, we're on everywhere through the MLS. The MLS distributes it to all those sites pretty much.
All right, Ken said, so what's the conversation? Most of these people like to live out in the sticks with no neighbors. Now you're proposing they have 3 or 5. Yeah, I mean, they still get to keep a lot of land. It depends. And that's why it's a problem solving thing as far as like what you're pitching to them, and like have a conversation. Like I can make this whole thing. Let me show this actually. Like, let's say like we can change this whole strategy. We can give them way more. We can make it way further. We can make like there's infinite options in terms of like a lot of people just don't want to maintain, especially land like this. Like this is high. Like you got to maintain this land, and it's probably expensive and time consuming. And yeah, you definitely sometimes have to get creative based on what you don't want to be dishonest in terms of what's going to be the situation after you.
Yeah, if they're pushed back on like you surveying, subdividing it and splitting it off into 10 lots, like you can negotiate with them and see
how much on average. Sorry, how much on average are you guys paying per acre? It matters per the area. Like
it's anywhere from $500 to $100,000 an acre. It just depends the area.
How tight would you post a spread if you look at your post on the MLS? How tight would you post a spread? If you're talking about double closing, I'm not. I think
you might be talking about double closing. So double closing, that also depends. It's like we like to buy deals with cash using funding partners when the spread's there, when you can like double your money, things like that. We like to because when you double close, you're asking for more time. It's more risk of them trying to back out. There's a lot of different things that you need more time. It's slower. When you have a great deal, we like to buy it with funding and then resell it right away. When the margins get tighter and the risk gets higher is when we propose double closes. So a normal double close is like a buy for 50, sell for 70. But you can do them bigger than that too, like buy for 50, sell for 85. You can buy for 200, sell for 320, things like that. Or when you're doubling your money or around that, I usually get funding for it. But when we're double closing, I look at it completely different. We can take tighter margins because we don't have money out. There's not really skin in the game.
Can you go into a little more detail and guesstimates of the prices on that example? Yeah, 100%. For a deal. Let me just walk through this. I got 5 more minutes. All right, let's pull this up. All right, so a few options as you're going through here. Like, so what are we buying? So 6 and 14, we're buying 3. I don't know where that is. Hold on. Let me click into this parcel real fast. I still think I'm on the drawing. There we go. All right, so we're buying, they're keeping 19, we're buying whatever that is, 26 acres. So essentially, like, you want to figure out how much money can I get from this 26 acres? And like, we don't want to pay over market value. Even if we're subdividing, we're doing these other things, they're keeping their whatever 19 acres with their 2 houses and structures. And we're going to try to find out, like, okay, what is 20 acres worth? We do have a land portal estimate on here that you can look at. I'm going to show on Zillow real fast, walking through this, but let's first find out where we are in the county. So the first thing when you're trying to comp out a property where you are, we're at the very northern edge of the county. So let's just go up here and we are looking at 26 acres we are buying. So first thing is like, okay, how much can I buy this? What is market value of 26 acres? Like, let's first try to figure that out. And when you're doing this, like, how do you find out what something's worth? Like, look at recent sales, essentially. We have 29 acres with some kind of pond or small lake access. That's sold for $210. We have 48 acres that's sold for $450. This one's a little, what is that? $8,000. That's less than 8. That's $7,000 an acre. 18 for 125, 22 for 280. Just looking through here fast, I think it's going to be like $8,000 to $9,000 per acre, maybe a little less, maybe $8,000 an acre. So if we're saying 26, just quick math, guys, 26 acres, that's 160 plus 48, $208,000 for the 26 acres. That's what I think market value is for the 26 acres. All right. But now you got like, okay, how much money can I make when I subdivide this off? Like, okay, how much money can I pay? Okay. Because if, what did I say? $208,000. If I can get, after subdividing, if I can get $400,000, I might be able to pay 200 grand. Do I want to pay as little as possible? Yeah, typically. But let's look, let me see what we're subdividing down into. So we had a 10, I think it was these 4. It was definitely these 4. So 10, 10, 2 5s, and then a 3. Okay. So we essentially need to find out, okay, what are these worth? So here's 5 acres for 45. And one thing I noticed just by looking at these the first couple times is we're not getting a lot more per acre. So this is $9,000 per acre. I said $8,000 an acre for the 26. 6 for 75. That's obviously a lot higher. Let me see if there's any higher comps as well.
There's a 3 for 35.
5 for 100. I think these comps are outliers on the low end, Dan. I really do believe that. This is not a good property. This is going to have a really long driveway. You guys can see this flag shape right here. It's going to have the access is over here on this property. And this is not a good property. I don't think these 3 comps are good comps. I believe this comp is a better comp, to be honest with you. That's $12,000 an acre. This one is 20, but this is really nice farmland. I don't think these are.
We have good farmland too, though.
100%. 5. I mean, it might be $15,000 to $17,000 per acre for 5 acres. So if we're talking about like, okay, I'm going to be able to get, let's say on average, $15,000 per acre on all these. So we have, let's do some math. So what's 15 times 26, Dan? $15 times
390.
So after we subdivide, I think we might be able to get $15,000 per acre, which equals $390K. We think the market value of the 26 acres, equals, I said, 208,000.
Scroll down so we can see that.
Oh, sorry. I got to get this. Let's hide the question. So $208,000. So 15 times 26, I think we can get $400,000, close to $400,000 for this property. Market value of 26 acres is 208. One thing I always urge people to do when you're doing any strategies like this, you always want to buy for under market value or value. So you don't want to pay 210 just because you can sell it for 390. For me, like, I'd probably try to buy this probably around 180 to 190. We do have expenses. Like we are going to have $5,000 to $10,000 in survey. There's a lot of expenses. I like to double my money when I'm subdividing. There's a lot of work that goes into it. But if you can buy this for 175, the 26 acres in the middle, subdivide it off, I think you're going to be in a good spot where you can double your money.
Yeah, 175. Worst case, you sell it for 350-ish. You know, take a $40,000 deduction on that, and I think you're in a good spot. That's a good example, Ron.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. There are many creative ways to buy without coming out. Thank you, Daniel. There are many creative ways to buy without coming out of pocket for a lot of money. Give the seller half now, half later. Use private money. 100%. So much money available. You find good deals, Mike. There's so much money. There's unlimited money for good deals. It's the people who want to send deals with $5 margins and try to get funding for it. Like, yeah, I'm not going to buy for 100,000 and sell for 105. Like that doesn't make sense. There's no value in that property for me to fund it or really anybody. But you find deals like this. Obviously, this is a theoretical deal here that we went over tonight. Like you can get a lot of money. Like,
but that's a real example. You run into situations.
100%. 100%, guys. This was fun though, Dan. I enjoyed this. Survey hacking, like. If rewatch this, guys, if you didn't understand the first time, like there's a ton of opportunity in it, whether you are just getting started in this business or you've been doing this business for 5-10 years, there's a ton of opportunity. Other than that, guys, we will see you next week. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Appreciate everybody.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining.
Thanks.